Francais is our referee this evening. He has been in charge of a couple of games for Stade Francais this season, but this is the first time that Bordeaux Begles have seen him in the middle. Joy Seconds waits for his opposite number. Mathieu Garcia, the 21-year-old fly half for Bordeaux Begles to get us underway in the second semi-final. And it's Seconds who sends it high immediately. And finds touch. Burros can't keep it in. And now we will see how the set piece is feeling for both these sides. Karim Gazelle, in charge this season, has done an incredible job with a new staff. Yannick Brou, likewise.
No. Okay.
They've improved through the campaign of Bordeaux Begles. And they get their first line out going. Tavita to Tafu. What a wonderful first season he's had. Jefferson Poirot, the veteran, loose head prop, is pushed backwards. They are so good at the breakdown, our Stade Francais.
Good body, good body, good body, good body, good body.
And you can see there exactly just what we're saying all the way through already. Wonderful counter ruck. And all of a sudden, the Pink Soldiers are on the attacking side. The Bordeaux Begles half. Break forward by Sekou Makalu, the French international, who doesn't quite know whether he's a forward or a back and does equally well. Leo Barret, another man who has had a standout season. The new French international. Well, that was a low pass, but it was well taken. Stade Francais set, and there's a great piece of play by Maxime Lamotte. Over the top to Jackal. That's going to be so important for this game that Bordeaux Begles defend well like they did against Racing.
Absolutely, and what else will be important is discipline, and the referee's already reacted to a back chat from the Stade Francais players, and that's probably put this within goal-kicking distance for Maxime Lucu. And yes, he is going to have a shot from about 53 metres, but Lamotte's so good over the ball. This is where Stade Francais actually won the ball back. They were a little bit formulaic, Bordeaux, and they got themselves in a bit of trouble with that ferocious Stade Francais defence coming through. And this is when Lamotte got over the ball. He's so hard to shift. Stade Francais might have an argument that they thought a ruck was created, so maybe a bit of luck, but it doesn't matter. It's what the referee sees. It's the picture that he sees, and Lamotte gives a very good picture when he's over the ball.
Just like Carlo said, he is getting some treatment down there. The man in for Ben Tamifuna, who injured his right shoulder when Camille Chat landed all of his substantial weight on it in the barrage. Here it comes. That's starting off right, and it's going to stay right. And Stade Francais avoid an early bullet. 108 points this season. There is Big Ben, one of the biggest fan favourites in all senses for Bordeaux Begles. And they are very disappointed he's not out there throwing his 150-odd kilos around. Off we go then. Once more. Outside the 22, that. Yeah, that was... he took it back into the 22. So they're going to come back to where he kicked it from. And a mistake early on from Bordeaux Begles.
Yeah, it's bonus possession really for Stade Francais. And that was a huge dropout from Stade Francais. Really got to put the pressure on. And a little bit unlucky for Bordeaux there, but that's what pressure will do. And Stade Francais has been one of the best of it. Maybe not in the last few weeks, where they went off the ball somewhat, but throughout the course of the season, they've been putting so much pressure on.
Oh, it's a bit messy. Stade Francais have it though, and the referee is happy that there was no knock-on. Don't score an awful lot of tries, Stade Francais, so they would like to get on the board early, and then their defence will kick in. Another penalty. This time it's Adam Coleman, the Australian second row forward.
Placard, et ensuite Céline Grosse, donc première faute placard.
Stade Francais will be absolutely happy just to get down the end and depart with 3 points each time. Fairly good first contact from Bordeaux. Just a bit exciting. That's probably a little bit of catch-up. They didn't expect to be down in their 22. Just push things a little bit, desperate to get the ball back. and took it too far. But like I say, 3 points will be really welcomed by Stade Francais, which makes the kicks from Luku even more important, because Stade Francais don't have a good history of being able to score lots of points, particularly if they get desperate, if they get down and have to chase the game. So every time Luku can keep that scoreboard ticking over will be very valuable for Bordeaux, and he missed his first one.
Joris Sagon scored 317 points a few seasons ago, 240 last season. This season, not quite so many, 142 this time for him, but he's still leading his side, even though he's not quite having the same kind of season. This, though, should be meat and drink to a man of his quality. All the first points on the ball, they look like they are, the flags are up, and it's the visitors, if you like, even though they're technically the hosts, who have got in front 3-0. Karim Gazelle watching on from the sidelines. Former Lyon assistant coach, line-out coach for France as well for 3 years before arriving at Stade Francais this campaign. It's a great catch. Well, he goes Hubble Kufner, who's been in great try-scoring form of late. Coco had to play part of the ruck there, which meant that Briat had to effectively play scrum half in a reversal of roles between those two. Rory Coco has been attracting an awful lot of praise here, but Paul Gabrielard was asked in the week whether or not he fancied playing with him or against him, and there was a slightly wry smile from the captain of Stade Francais. And Burros has knocked it on. Oh, it's a nervous start for the men in claret.
Yeah, and fairly uncharacteristic of Burros, because he's been one of the best, he's been one of the standouts among absolute stars in the back line. He's been one of the best this season. Very unlucky bounce. They probably should have taken that on the full Bordeaux if possible. They left a little bit too much space there. It wasn't a perfectly struck kick, but it was effective, and the bounce of the ball just really caught them out. Again, bonus possession for Stade Francais.
So then it will result in our first scrum of the game, which will give us another good indicator about how these two sides are feeling.
Given the strength of the Stade Francais defence, you'd expect a lot of feedback coming immediately on what's happening with the Bordeaux attack. For example, off that first line out, Tatafu got a good run forward, and there was a lot of space on the blind side, but they went through their plan, which ended up counting against them, because they ran into that big Stade Francais defence. But they've got to identify where the space is, because the opportunities tonight may be few and far between. They're likely to come from turnovers or counter-attacks, often with the talent in this Bordeaux backline. So hopefully they're getting the feedback quickly.
We're having to wait because Sergio Abramashvili is receiving treatment down there on the pitch, the Georgian international, who scored his first ever 14 try this season in the game against Union Bordeaux Begles back in January. There is the view of the Stade Mammoth Atlantique. Beautiful stadium, really atmospheric. It was good yesterday for the game with Toulouse against La Rochelle. The noise level has got even higher as Moses Aloemil has had to come on to replace the big Georgian. I thought that would be a blood substitution. He's going to go off and see. We saw a couple of broken noses recently.
Almost saw one last night for Julien Marchand as well, didn't they? We probably won't go into that incident in too much detail, but it was certainly determinant in terms of the result.
Yeah, getting a headbutt from Red Ahordi that earned him one of the 2 red cards that La Rochelle suffered from last night, that really imploded their attempts to get back into the final. Little chip over the top. Dangerous, and that's better from Burros. Almost got each other's way there, but the fullback managed to pull the mark.
Yeah, well covered by Burros. Probably the kick a little overcooked by Cocotte. Overcocked. And but it did look likely, actually. He had a good chasing line. The timing of it was really good from Stade Francais. Just went too far.
Caught by Barre. Tall, elegant, penetrating fullback, still going, trying to get past Poirot. But he's too wily to let him get past. Briat manages to recycle. Cocotte had to be very alert there, but he usually is. Luku trying to get over the top of the ball, and they have done it. Stade Francais getting just a little bit too frenetic there, and they pay for it with a little lack of control in possession.
Bordeaux happy to say, look, we're no slouches on defence either. They're up against a vaunted defence, but they saw the opportunity there and piled through in numbers, and it was Luku who got over the ball quickly, saw the opportunity, and just to get him cleaned out, he had to be taken from the side. It was a pretty good run from Barre as well. He stepped through it, almost too successful, because he wasn't able really to get good support on. And when they switched back down the blind side, the Bordeaux defence was well prepared.
Barre made his France debut against Wales in the Six Nations this season. He's been very, very impressive. Still only 21 years old, and he can also play at fly half as well. So that will certainly help him out when it comes to the big competitions in the future. Driving maul started by Union Bordeaux Begles. Weaving one way or the other, they're edging forward ever so gently, moving round to the right-hand side, release the ball now, Luku feeds it out to Garcia, he chips it over the top, and it's it's always the same thing that's happened at the other end of the pitch. The mark called again. This time it's Kylan Hamdawi back in the side today and playing at right wing rather than fullback, where actually he's been spending quite a lot of time this season. Usually a fullback, pretty much a quarter of his appearances have been at left wing, but he's been there quite often.
Yes, he's used to covering, and we see there the kick was a little bit shorter than Stade Francais. Bordeaux had obviously learnt that, don't send it too far, but they were still able to cover, and the vision of Hamdawi and the habit of looking to cover behind and constantly being aware of that threat has served him well.
Maxime Lamotte delivers. Again, it's safe into the arms of Bastien Verne Talifer, 27-year-old French back row forward. Luku dictating what's Jefferson Poirot to join the back of the ruck, and he goes now for the up and under. It's a little bit short, perhaps. Leicester Etienne gets something on it, but it goes to Maxime Lamotte, and he can score tries. The home crowd rise, but they're attacking the away fans, if you like. The Stade Francais, who are right in front of those posts. Good defence, though, from Stade Francais, pushing them backwards. Met by a chorus of boos around the stadium.
Well, that's the kicking game from Maxime Luku, which we spoke about before the game. It wasn't perfect, but it was in the zone. It was good enough. It meant that none of his forwards were offside. They came through, and it became a bit of a lottery. And the ball bouncing nicely for Lamotte, and Bielbiere obviously quick off the mark to get in support when he senses an opportunity.
37-year-old Rory Cocotte, who's on the ground, who was pulverised in the middle of that piece of action, but this is Maxime Lamotte, who's been very impressive this season. He's a marauding, brawling, he was called in the press this week, hooker, and he's very, very good at finishing off moves that come from set piece.
He did well there, particularly showing a bit of patience, not to give it to Bielbiere straight away. He sensed there was a man right on him, trucked it forward a little bit, kept his arm free, and then rolled the pass to his fast winger coming in support, who crashed forward as well pretty well. They did well to maintain that position, Bordeaux, because there were plenty of Stade Francais jerseys that had got back.
So then, the first kick at goal missed. Now he has a second chance, does Maxime Luku. French international Antoine Dupont is always going to be ahead of him. Mathieu Jalibert watching on above Ben Tamafuna. That injury picked up against Oyonnax has really, really hurt them. Luku kicks, this time it is better. Union Bordeaux Begles are on the board, and it's 3-3. Well, even start. Union Bordeaux Begles looked like they might have now got over that slightly jittery start, where they looked a little bit overawed by what was going on around them. Now time to get the exit nailed on the back of those 3 points. Giovanni Havakuflu told he can't go forward as Luku bounces it upfield into the grasp of Leo Barre.
Stop.
Well, that was a curious little kick. Followed by Garcia. He's looking for touch, however, it's not far enough out of touch, however. Oh, they've decided to take it quickly anyway. Burros. Now Burros has a chance to run. He's going to kick it though.
Okay.
Well, it's turned into that sort of chess match that you see from time to time, and booted out into touch by Joris Segons.
I think Bordeaux will be happy with that result. They get thrown slightly inside the Stade Francais half, and that kick from Garcia was a really good one. Found touch, used the most of the angle that he had, and got it a long way down. And Stade Francais finally kicking the ball out. Like I say, Bordeaux able to set their platform here just inside the half. Good
to see Abramashvili back on the pitch again at the loose head position after that little treatment for what looked like a bang on the nose. Luku. Crowd getting right behind them. Oh, that was very close to being crossing. Leo Bielbieri, touched by Barre, his French international teammate. The crowd are baying for a penalty. Referee, though, carries on. Where's the ball? It's been stolen. Stade Francais rescue themselves again on their own 5-metre line. Well, there's more good evidence of how good they've been in rucks. Robbing the opponents when the ball is tight. Out by Kokot. Not very far, though, and you can hear from the crowd that they're pretty happy with that.
He was covered on both sides. Here's the first touch of the night for Penaud. And he's got some good go forward there as well. There was a little bit of... The crowd was trying to convince the referee that this was taken out, but there's no way that Barre could have changed. He's jumped up in the air. He can't move out of the way, and absolutely nothing deliberate about that. Completely accidental, but the crowd certainly giving voice.
Yeah, they're not going to do anything else, are they? Always try to influence the referee's decisions. However, the crowd now back with their minds on what's actually happening on the pitch. They have a driving maul. It's gone down, and there's a penalty advantage being played to Bordeaux Begles. Luku's looking for it up the base. Mofana, another of the French internationals in this Union Bordeaux Begles lineup. Good punch there by the Tongan-born Japan international Tavita Tatafu. Referees decided there is no advantage.
I think Bordeaux infringed at that ruck on Tatafu. It was a beautiful line from Tatafu. He threaded his way through the defence, and if there could have been someone maybe just off his shoulder, it might have looked likely. Now, Bordeaux have chosen to go for a line out here, and the 3 points, yes, would be great, but I think what they're planning to do is try and drag another penalty out of Stade Francais. They've been penalised once trying to defend that more illegally. If they can get another one, then Stade Francais is on the brink of getting warned, and quite an early yellow card if they keep infringing.
Well, only now have averaged fewer points than Stade Francais this season, so that's what they're battling against. But Union Bordeaux Begles, they can sometimes score at will. They are trying to score with the forwards at the moment, and even the backs are coming in.
Here comes
joining it. Penaud's going to join as well. They come up, the try is given. They don't need Penaud. They've got Maxime Lamotte. He's done it again. What a season it's been for the 25-year-old hooker. It's a 6th try for Maxime Lamotte. And it puts Union Bordeaux Begles in front for the first time in the game.
You want to try from Bordeaux. What control they had up front. They've got it to the back there. Lamotte's already got it in his arms there. So the ball's away from danger. Everyone talks about the danger of the backs. There goes Bielbieri. That's why I started looking. Where's Penaud? He normally gets in there. He's come from the far side of the field. There he is. Just a little bit too late, Damien. You couldn't get there, and Lamotte wasn't going to give it up anyway.
Well, just in case the decibel level couldn't go up any further, it's just popped up again.
I thought you meant me, getting excited about a scrum, a maul try, a forward pack try.
I'm sure as a fly half, you love a good forward strike.
Oh, nothing better than watching others do the hard work.
Oh, that's lovely. Beautifully hit. He had his sighter, and now he's picture perfect. When Bordeaux Begles made their first claim to the final, which will be the first in their history. Points to 3 then, with 18 minutes gone, almost halfway through the first half. Leo Barrett wants to take it quickly, but I think he's going to have to accept the fact that the runners have all cut off all of the escape plans for him.
That's a great clearance from Maxime Lucu, who's under a bit of pressure there. He's managed to get the ball high, so it makes it difficult for Stade Francais to take the quick line out, and he's got distance on it as well.
Michael Evaldi delivers into the path of Sekou Makalu. Out wide. Oh, that was very well evaded there by Jeremy Ward, who is Stade Francais' top try scorer this season from South Africa. Another South African, although he's now French, Rory Cocotte, kicks it forward, and Lucu, his opposite number, sends it back where it came from. Joris Segons waits for it. Has a little look around to see what Lester Etienne is doing. Wants him to chase after this high ball. Burros is under it. It's a little too far. Oh, and it's hit Paul Allo-Emile there, who was not 10 metres back. So that was a bit loose.
I think they thought that Burros was taking the option to play on and just play immediately from the mark. So just a bit unlucky there, and Bordeaux get a bonus position. But then again, a free kick is worth nothing to them. All they can do is put it in the air, as they have done.
However, Leo Bielberry runs straight into Cocotte. And Cocotte is penalised. Well, the referee judging that he moved into his path.
Well, if he did, then I'm happy, because this is a really annoying part of the game. Players changing their line, running blocks, running obstruction, really annoying. And it can lead. Yep, absolutely, Cocotte. You know, he's doing the best for his team, but that is pretty cynical. He's walked right across in front, and that's really dangerous too. And what it can lead to is it can lead to, you know, tempers erupting. So I think that's a good penalty, and I'd like to see more of those. Not necessarily against this man, but it's pretty low doing that.
Well, he's a man who does get in the faces of opposition, always has done. Yannick Brou already talking. Unlike the coaches we saw yesterday, well, actually, like Hugo Moller, he likes to be on the touchline from the word go. Ronan O'Gara was upstairs yesterday, and that is a good kick that sets up another attacking option, and they will surely be looking to Maxime Lamotte again here.
They certainly will. They may change where they drive in the line out, maybe move it to the front a little bit more from the first point of reception.
Beautifully taken. Their line-out's working well tonight. However, that's a good counter-push from Stade Francais. Going sideways at the moment. They managed to get round the corner again, though. Here they come once more. Over they go! Success again! Maxime Lamotte is it again. Tavita Tatafu was there too, but it's a forwards try. Whoever touches that down, it's the forwards who have scored it as a block.
Really good patience here from Bordeaux. They didn't get a lot of momentum early on, but they were biding their time. When they felt they were set, they moved the ball slightly off the line around to the right again. This is why it's called a rolling ball, right from the historical days. And it's worked well for them. It's 2 for 2. The dung beetle, he's going for number 2.
It was indeed Maxime Lamotte. Well, his fine season just continues to get better. He's been called many things. I'm not sure he's ever been called a dung beetle before.
Well, he's relentless in his pursuit of number 2.
That is awful. Well, Lucu's after a number 2 as well, with 2 points for the conversion. After he's wiped the sweat or the tears of laughter out of his eyes. What are we doing? We are looking to the 2v match official.
Ok, si c'est le même mol.
They saying that this was two
Vérifie si c'est le même mol ou si
chuck
c'est
and
une
trail.
obstruction des blancs.
They're questioning here whether it was the original maul, I think.
Well, I think they're always going to assess this when they've got time to just make sure everything was clean. Lamotte's got to maintain contact with his shoulder, because as soon as he goes to arm's length, if he does, or as soon as they break away from the original line, that's an infringement. I think that's going to be all right there. I think they're going to say that's the same line.
Depuis la mute. Voilà, depuis la mute, on va regarder. Ça, c'est le meilleur angle, Pierre.
Le 6 est lié au joueur blanc, qui est lié au 4. Pour moi, c'est même molle. Après, c'est le 6 rose
So
qui
the
se sort.
referee saying it's the same maul in his opinion. I'm going to say there's some serious accents going on in the TMO
Pour moi,
today.
c'est le même molle.
Le ballon n'est plus entrant, mais on va considérer que c'est le même.
That's joined, isn't it? And then he falls over the line.
Le 6 était lié, il désaxe, et après, c'est le 6 qui se sort, donc le même molle laissé.
Well, they're explaining to Paul Gabrielard why this will be a try.
Well, I think it looked worse than what it was because Bordeaux successfully rolled that maul around to the side, and Stade Francais actually ran out of defenders. So it did look almost like they'd created a second maul, but no, I was comfortable with that. Not that that means anything, in my opinion, really.
Well, it's a 12-point lead now. It could be a 14-point one in a few moments' time. Here comes Luku, same kick again, same result again. And it's Unon Bordeaux Begles 17, Stade Francais 3. And the forwards are running over Stade Francais. They're paving over the capital at the moment. So then, Joris Segons gets us back underway again, and Liam Berry picks it up.
Laissez-le sortir.
Well, Stade Francais desperate to get that ball. Abramashvili looks like he's trying to dig a tunnel through. However, the ball stays on the Bordeaux Begles side. Or does it? Rory Cockart getting stroppy, although there's nothing unusual about that. Luku, that was flat. However, it's worked out well. Leo Barry is stopped from taking it, I think, because he dropped it into touch.
Well, he got pretty close to almost looking like he'd taken that out himself. You know, it was a flat back hit from Luku, and it worked really, really well. He got the angle right, and yeah, that was very close to being a Bordeaux throw.
Non, vous, je ne veux pas vous tirer par le maillot. 9 rose.
Rory Cockart being called back to the little talk.
Vous devez être en jeu et pas aller à plus pareil, okay?
It's so loud in there, I can't hear what he's saying.
Well, I was going to say he was so smart, putting his hand out to shake and looked contrite, and then he dropped down. I thought he was bowing down to the referee, taking it one step further, but just doing his boots up to Rory Cockart. It's frustrating, of course, when someone on the ruck's trying to keep him in there illegally, so they've both been spoken to, no harm done.
Well, he's been a snappy Jack Russell for a while, hasn't he? Of course, he retired once already, lured back in by a personal friendship with Stade Francais' Laurent Labitte. And, well, I bet he's glad he did come back, because he's becoming more and more important to this Stade Francais side, which is a little bit ironic, bearing in mind he fell out of favour in his last season for Cast. Stade Francais have it. It's as good a position they've had in a while. Cockart recycles once more. Up by Ward. Ooh, Barry's in danger of being caught. He's done really well to keep upright, and that's allowed the support to come in and help. Segons almost didn't take that and got absolutely flattened there by Cyril Cazot. And Stade Francais hit the buffers again.
Yes, Segons was ingested then and very close to being digested. He copped that. Their attack right from that line out wasn't seamless, really. They were throwing passes almost behind the player, so they didn't get any impetus on the first phase. It was a really good kick from Kokot, and Makalu did very well to knock that back. But then after that, they just look a little bit too on attack. They don't look comfortable. They look a lot more comfortable on defence, Stade Francais, which you'd imagine from the stats they've got.
You've summed up their season, really, haven't you?
They just, you know, even going to the outside there, they're not running realistic lines that hold the defence. They're sort of telegraphing their moves, throwing the ball behind. So they really do, you know, need to just play to their strengths at the moment and probably just keep kicking the ball until they feel they get into some sort of a rhythm.
That's Jefferson Poirot, who's on the deck at the moment, the 31-year-old Lucette prop, former French international until the 2020 Six Nations. Played 4 matches as well at the World Cup just before that. The former Brive man who's been an Union Bordeaux Begles stalwart since 2012.
Looks like he's just getting a tyre change there, Angus. He's come off the slicks. They're in wet conditions there, so the mechanical team comes out.
Well, I think he's got the wrong country. That's going on in Barcelona, isn't it? Where the 2016 final took place, that Racing, of course, won. The last time, actually, the Stade Francais didn't host because of Euro 2016. This time, of course, it's not hosting the final because of the Olympic Games. Jon Mafana takes a good line, almost managed to break through. To Tapu, goes again. Rocking his way past Stade Francais defenders. The best to attack almost against the best defence up tonight. It's great that the rain has eased and it's allowed the game to really be a bit more open. Stade Francais doing what they do again on those rucks, and they think they've managed to steal the ball once more. They've averaged most turnovers 1 per game this season, and they are proving it again here, even though they're being dominated in terms of the scoreline. Kokot, high. Makalu's after it. Nicely taken by Bielvieri. Leads it to Burros, who slips at a really inopportune moment. They recycle it though. Oh, Lamont hit hard. In fact, it was by Baptiste Passenti. Huge second row forward. Up again, that's a bit short from Luku. They're all waiting for it to come down. It's knocked on. Seconds hit by Lamont, manages to get it away though. Oh, and that's been knocked on again. And the original knock-on advantage had ended, and which means that Bordeaux Begles now have it back. Over the top by Garcia. Seconds though, up against his number 10, decides to square it. Hamdawi, oh, he shanked that badly. Well, Union Bordeaux Begles. No, it's got off to a terrible start. They seem to have secured themselves a bit, and now Stade Francais are going through a wobble.
Yeah, the bounce of the ball's going in favour of Bordeaux at the moment. That should have been a penalty way back to Stade Francais, because Bordeaux were all offside from that kick. It was too short from Luku. Players who are in front of Luku have an obligation to get 10 metres away from where the ball's coming down, and none of them did that. So anyway, you ride your luck. When things are going your way, they can often just keep doing that, and Bordeaux's quite happy with that, of course.
Well, the only good news about that line out was it wasn't inside the 22, but Bordeaux Begles have it once more. Luku chips it into the 22. Picked up by Seconds, does well. And then it's hit rather late, perhaps. Stade Francais managed to get the ball away cleanly. It's a huge kick, actually.
That's an incredible clearance. It just kept floating and floating. Initially, it looked like it might have stayed in field, or in the field of play, but it's just wafted across the touchline. Absolutely perfect for Stade Francais, and they get themselves out of trouble.
Well, we've seen Leo Barré do that several times this season. He's a real talent coming through. He's a huge man as well for a... he's more like a second row forward.
Well, he's got the same sort of physical profile as Blair Kinghorn, for example, isn't he? He looks very, very similar out there.
What a season the Scot is having this season. Kicking his way in the final of the European Cup, or the Champions Cup as it's now known. And of course helping, or could have a role in the final. Now that Toulouse are there again, looking for a 23rd Brennus. Stade Francais looking for a 3rd trophy. And of course Union Bordeaux Begles famously still looking for a maiden crown.
Well, this is interesting. They're going for the line here, Stade Francais, so obviously back there, line out more. They need to get it close. I was interested to see what the decision was, because, you know, their natural game would be just to keep taking those 3 points if they're comfortable of getting down the Bordeaux end regularly and somewhat easily. But They feel like they need to get 7 points result here.
Well, that was a perfect kick. In fact, it was flirting with being not perfect, but it was right on the corner flag. And they have a line out on the 5-metre line, and this is the best attacking position the Stade Francais have had in the game. Michael Evaldi with the pressure. Moving to Toulon next season, but hoping to leave the men in pink with a Brennis, or even at the moment, a place in the final. Good turning. We've seen some good forward play from lineouts in this game. Now it's the turn of Stade Francais. They have the penalty advantage as well. Cocotte directing affairs. He's got his hand on the ball. Emile Macalou tries to go forward, but he's brought down. Good tackle by Van Talifer. Another push, another push! And Stade Francais have their first try of the game. Romain Briat, the back row forward, who does all the dirty work, comes up for a bit of glory.
Your Stade Francais forward pack flexing their muscle as well, and it's raining tries for the forward packs here tonight. That'll encourage the purists, and it's actually good spectacle as well. This next run, or the run before this one was really important. Makalou's run up against a well-prepared, well-organised defence. He was up against big numbers, and he still managed to get some go-forward, Angus. I was expecting that first run that came from the collapsed maul to really be stopped in its tracks, and so Macalou did incredibly well just to get that extra metre and a half, and get Stade Francais on the front foot, and it culminated in that try off the next phase.
Well, he scored his last try in the penultimate round of the regular season. That's his 4th venture over the paint this season, and desperately needed for Stade Francais. This match was disappearing in a hurry. Now Joris Segons has a chance to bring them a bit closer. It's over. That's better. And it is down to a 1-try game again. No expression at all from Yannick Bru. Mathieu Garcia readies himself. Bordeaux Begles still lead, but it's now 10 points to 17. 8 minutes to go until the break. Romain Bourros picks it up just outside his 22 and decides to run it himself in the air. Underneath it, it's good run. Has he put? Oh, it's brilliant. Great competition in the air from both players. Who's got the strongest grip? Bourros has managed to recycle it. Lamotte, brought down by Paul Allo-Emile, the Samoan international. Tight head prop, kicked into space, looking for the... Whoa! Barre, has he kept it in? No, he has not! And Bordeaux Begles fans roar again. And that is not what Stade Francais needed. Sometimes you've just got to let it go, haven't you?
Well, there you saw it. His right foot stepped on the line at the same time he was touching. It's not this touch, it's the next one. There it was, concurrent. But well played by Bordeaux, right the way upfield. The take by Bourros in the air, the little pass on that came from Sardi onto Lamotte to keep the ball going forward, and then the kick, of course.
And here comes the not straight by the looks of it. Wow, what a let-off for Stade Francais there.
That was impressive work, not the least of which was, like I say, that little pass from Sardi when he had so much pressure on him. He just tipped it on. He didn't truck the ball forward, flipped it on. Here's the throw. It's gone a little bit wonky, just too much for the referee's likings. Fair call.
Yeah, first mistake from Maxime Lamont. He's had a stunning game so far. So then Stade Francais with a scrum on their own 5-metre line. Two front rows engaging. 352 kilos on the Stade Francais side. 377 on the Union Bordeaux Begles side. Union Bordeaux Begles have a total weight that is 50 kilos or so more than Stade Francais. And that's without Ben Tamifuna. That didn't go the way the referee was hoping.
No, the front rows both went up. The referee felt, I think they both went up at the same time, so it was no one's fault. It looked to me, without being a scrum expert, that, well, I was going to say I thought Bordeaux had gone up first, but from that angle looked a little bit like Stade Francais standing up.
Yes, Ivaldi's head popped up first of all.
Well, regardless, they get another chance now to do it again.
Well, this is where the strength of the forwards gets sapped out as the game goes on. We saw that perhaps last night, which is why one of the red cards happened. Being pulled down.
Sadi being penalised for, as you say, Angus, just pulling down on that right-hand side, trying to destabilise, I guess, the scrum through Abramishvili, the loose head for Stade Francais, who get now to clear their line a little bit.
Up to the 10-metre line, the kick from Joris Segonds. There you get a good look at it. Well, just to let you know, there are some Stade Francais fans around. They're certainly in a minority. Lovely by Makalou. Fabulous all-round rugby player. Kokot. High once more. Into the Bordeaux sky. Bielbieri misses it. And it's picked up by Kokot. Kokot switches back inside to where the support is. Captain Paul Gabrielard plays scrum half. Out by the other second row forward, Baptiste Pesenti. Back it comes the other way from the South African inside centre, Jeremy Ward. Again, though, decent resistance coming from Bordeaux Begles. Paul Allo-Emile. Kokot, Segonds. Out it comes again. Chance for Ward to come forward once more. Good defensive line at the moment from the men in white. Segonds feeds it back out to Barry, who stepped into the line from fullback. He's brought down really well by Adam Coleman. Segonds again, this time he kicks. Buros gets it though, and sends it right back where it came from. And Segonds knew instantly what was going to happen, was after it, like a whippet. Back it comes again, and Bordeaux Begles will be delighted with the net gain out of that.
Yes, they definitely will, and Stade Francais will be pretty crestfallen, I think. All that effort and what that amounted to, they just don't look cohesive with their attack, and in the end, Barre has no real options outside him, and they resorted to go to the boot, and Buros, of course, just thumps it back down there, and Bordeaux get one touch of the ball and get to make 50 metres, 60 metres, and Stade Francais have spent all that effort only to lose ground.
On y va. Reprise.
Referee happy. Lamont. Nicely done. They're a long way out this time, though, for the driving maul, and Stade Francais managed to have broken up, or have they? Some of the players have missed out where the ball is, and they're up by the 22. Stade Francais smother it well.
C'est un mort, le blanc isolé va au sol. Méléros.
Well, so far, Mertz, we have not seen the backs for Bordeaux Begles really let rip. It's been very much a forwards display.
We saw a few of them arrive too late for that first line-out maul try, didn't we? But yeah, we haven't seen Pernod. Pernod's only had the ball once. The ball hasn't got out wide to him in space, and he is a player who does like roaming a little bit and going and looking for work. He just hasn't really had the opportunity yet. Well, they'll be happy enough. They certainly don't feel they've got a big gap here, but they'll be happy that they're up at least, and they've spent enough time in Stade Francais' half. Like I say, Stade Francais with the ball in hand, phase after phase. The more phases they play, the less comfortable they look, and the less likely they look to really break the line.
Bordeaux Begles coaches watching on, including Jean-Baptiste Pou there on the left-hand side, the scrums coach. be very happy with the result of that particular one, because it's been given a decision to Stade Francais. Jeremy Ward comes in and congratulates the forwards. That's a big victory for them, really. They've been on the back foot for a lot of this half.
I'm not sure what the signal was there. He says the number 3 stood back up for Bordeaux, so Sadi, I think he was also sort of indicating they were driving in. It's probably hard to be sure sometimes, but he knew that Bordeaux was at fault in some way.
There's not always only one thing going on either. And again, the front rows pop up.
And quite good there, the referee's happy to go and have a chat while getting to the line out. Go and have a chat with Jefferson Poirot and explain exactly what he was seeing there, which is nice.
Half-time who to go, so this should be the last piece of play of the half, unless there's a penalty off the back of it. McAloo does well, Cockott feeds it out, Sagons. They're going to try one more time to break through this Bordeaux Begles line. Cockott again, Barre comes in. McAloo, great line from McAloo, and they could be in. Jeremy Ward feeds it back in again, Barre, almost there, 1 metre away. Stade Francais looking to finish off the half. Cockott dives, doesn't get there. So close. What a finish this would be to the half of Stade Francais if they can get over. They've been dominated really for the first 40 minutes, but this could change everything. Again they go. There's a penalty advantage for the men in pink as well. They decide to go wide now. Sagan's always been dropped by Briat. But as we said, there was a penalty, so they will continue on. The man who has been penalised is Bastien Van Tafer. And there's a bit of niggle going on over there by the post. Damien Penaud on the ground. Well, what a rip-roaring end to the first half this is.
Absolutely, frustration for both teams. Stade Francais saw a golden opportunity and realised they've blown it a little bit. Bordeaux didn't expect to be right on their goal line after having heard the hooter.
Yeah, well, what a line by McAloo setting that up.
Yeah, they brought it back through Barre, and he had 2 options, and finally the front option was available. They've looked over-planned and over-committed sometimes with their front line runners and thrown it behind to someone who's just been picked up. On this occasion, they hit the front line runner, McAloo. He found his support. What a tackle from Bielbiere, though, coming back. Try-saving tackle. And Stade Francais going for the 7 points still. Here's the move. As you saw there, that Barre fed McAloo, went to the outside to the pace. Barre stayed inside. And there's that tackle from Bielbiere.
And also, what about the move by Mofana as well that stopped him going for the corner in the first place? He ducked out of that line.
Yeah, there was just emotions were high and tensions were high there. And I think Bordeaux would have been quite happy to come away conceding 3 points here, but Stade Francais have said no. We want to, I guess, set our marker for the second half, and we're going to go for the 7.
Yeah, they decided to opt for the scrum. In it comes. Big push from Stade Francais. Here comes Hebel Köfner. He gets up to 2 metres from the line. Big push by Unon Bordeaux Begles. Another penalty, though.
It's yellow card territory.
Ça va être avertissement comme on vu tout à l'heure.
Well, they've conceded 2 only. Normally 3's the mark for a yellow card, but they're right on their line.
Une sélection de fautes contre vous. Maintenant, il faut la
discipline. Well, there's the warning.
Le joueur sur le contre-rack qui
plonge. You heard the word discipline. You don't need to speak French to be able to catch that.
That must be borderline for a yellow card. 2 in a row to save a try.
And another scrum. Not surprising, that decision. They feel like they're beginning to get the maybe the run on them.
Well, they didn't help Hebel Köfner this time with that first scrum because it wheeled a little bit to the left. It didn't give really him the best opportunity. They're probably going for another penalty here, to be honest. Stade Francais, because this will result in a yellow card. And that'll give them 10 minutes at the start of the second half, of course, with 1 extra man.
Well, you can't help thinking that this is a huge moment in the game, because if Stade Francais manage to go in level at half-time, it will literally change the water completely inside this place. If Unon Bordeaux Begles manage to hold on, well then maybe Stade Francais might lose heart just a bit. In it comes from Cockott. Another big push, it's collapsed in the middle. Referee says he can see the ball, play it. He tells Rory Cockott. Cockott has it again. Oh, and Ward has dropped it. And that will be it for the half. And it's Bordeaux Begles who get the moral victory. The crowd react as if they've won their place in the final already. A huge moment, as we say. 2 tries for Maxime Lamotte in that half-time. And it's a score of Stade Francais Paris 10, Union Bordeaux Begles 17. On the pitch then. See the spider cam whirring overhead. There is actually a drone somewhere around, but I can't say that I've actually seen many shots of it. It pops in from time to time. Rory Cockott. Well, it needs him to draw on all of his cunning that he's built up over all those years in top 14. Joris Segonds then, ball in hand, second half underway. UBB leading by 17 points to 10, and Maxime Lucu gets the kick back upfield. Leo Barre manages to take it this time in field rather than in touch or into touch. Chasing his own kick, knocks it on. Yes, the referee took a long time to decide that actually was a knock-on. But the advantage is over already. Hamdaoui, Segonds. Segonds is going to send this high, and off goes Hamdaoui in chase of it. He's overrun it. However, he might get over here. Marchant. We haven't seen too much from the Englishman in this game so far. But all of a sudden, Stade Francais back down the other end where they were.
Former Stade president Max Gazzini up in the stand there. He's the guy who gets the credit, and rightly so, for having really thrust Stade Francais back into the limelight in the 90s. They went from division, finally the top 14 champion. He brought the pageantry, he brought the entertainment to Stade Francais.
And he was very excited on the train down here, wasn't he, from Paris?
He was excited to be alongside Robbie Knock. That was what he excited about. He brought the pink jerseys to Stade Francais, so good that he's here tonight as well.
Lamotte. This time, it doesn't go the way that Union Bordeaux Begles wants, and Stade Francais suddenly in prime position here in the middle of the park. Well, they might want to finish off what they didn't manage to finish off at the end of the first half and get the try that will bring them back level. Briat, who scored the only score for them so far. Ooh. And the drop goal off the post. Lucu is flattened by Ward. He's offside, I think. Well, it wasn't the best throw back from Cockott, and it made the drop goal a lot harder than it should have been.
I'll tell you what was hard was that hit on Lucu from behind. Jeremy Ward has absolutely smoked him, and if he was offside, you'd almost wonder why there wasn't a little more action taken. Interesting that Stade Francais thought to go for the 3 points. They turned their nose up at it at the end of that first half. Here's the drop goal that comes off the post, and Ward well in front, all those players well in front. You'd think that possibly a more severe penalty might have been dished out, particularly given the tackle from behind into Maxime Lucu.
So off we go again then. UBB in possession.
Jouez le 9.
Lucu told to play it, so he does. High ball again, they all run after it. Bielbieri underneath it, but it's brilliantly taken by Lester Etienne. Not having quite the try-scoring season that he would like, but has scored four tries. He's beginning to find that route to the try line a little bit better in the latter part of the season. Cockott, slow ball. Segonds. He looks long, tries to split the two defenders, but it's well taken by Garcia. Now then, the fly half stays inside the 22 and looks for touch, which he does, which takes them back up into Stade Francais territory.
Gee, the timing on that kick from Joris Segonds is just incredible. It absolutely takes off like a shot. Seems pretty effortless too, so it's all from the timing. Got some really good length there, and it put pressure on Bordeaux. They cleared not too badly, but Might be a small win there for Stade Francais to come up and get the line out almost right on halfway.
Ivaldi's first test of the second half. Future Toulon man safe with that one. Stade Francais trying to build a platform once more. Segons again goes to the air. However, Buros is underneath it. This is dangerous now for Stade Francais. The fullback can run. Trying to get past Marchand. Marchand tries to rip the ball away from him. However, it's safely recycled. Forward comes Cazot. Luku recycled out by Garcia. Quick hands from Mafana. Lovely play. And for the first time we see what Bordeaux Begles can do when they let it out wide. Luku, Poirot bulldozes his way into contact. Gradually edging their way forward. Le Mans, there's a half break. Luku. Stade Francais' wall at the moment relatively strong, although they're being beaten back slightly. Buros again goes for the kick. Barre has a look to see what's around. It's an awkward bounce, and Barre again does brilliantly well. Hamdawi, dangerous, but Segons picks it up and is hit, and they could be in trouble now. The Jacklers are in. Referee, though, happy. Cockot feeds it. The crowd are furious. Touch is found. How on earth Stade Francais kept hold of that ball, I have no idea.
Well, there's absolutely no easing into the half, is there? And this is when they got it out wide, Bordeaux. There was a man in headgear out there. Was it Louis Bielbieri? No, it was not. It was Maxime Lamont. And he went on a run. There's the second tackle within about 4 seconds from Damien Penaud. He really put a good shot in.
Poirot had his hands on the ball there for a second. Joris Segons has obviously been hit in the action.
Well, he was the one that wore it from Damien Penaud. I think he made the first hit, basically slid on through, got straight to his feet like Antoine Dupont does, bounces up and charged on and made the next hit.
Now, Maxime Lamont's last line out wasn't a straight one, so he needs to get this one right. Better. Luku. Missed pass, Garcia. Mafana. Mafana brought down by a good tackle. They feed it out. The second row forwards come into the midfield. Ground gained to Tafu. The battering ram tries to bang a hole through the Stade Francais defence, but it holds firm at the moment. Garcia, Mafana, better again from Penaud. Out wide again. Great tackle, though, from Lester Etienne. Bordeaux Begles keep up the progression, though. Macalou lives that a little high from the forward. There's a murmur around the ground. Bielbieri, he's been wrapped up. Tackle called. Have to move away. Luku, round the corner. Can't quite get the offload he wanted, and Stade Francais come back in again. That was so close to being a try for Union Bordeaux Begles, and they're pushing Stade Francais back, and they've turned the ball over as well. The attack is back on. Kick to the far side to Tafu's got it. Marchand, though, calls the mark, and he's probably very pleased that he did that before the arrival of the 6-foot-tall, 18-stone number 8.
Yes, he would have been expecting that Damien Penaud was out on the right wing there. He was a little bit further infield, just inside Tafu. Tafu's been battling on really well because he was getting some attention, about a minute ago. And there's this run from Luku, just sold the dummy on the inside, didn't control the ball, but they got it back. They piled through. Bordeaux got it back, and there's where you'd expect Penaud normally would be. He's inside gesticulating and frustrated, and Garcia knew straight away the kick wasn't right, the personnel weren't right. And by that stage, advantage was over, so they have missed an opportunity there, Bordeaux, as they start ringing the changes. And the front row, 2 of them at least, both sides of the scrum are being replaced as Kalashvili and Boniface come on.
Well, Yannick Brou was absolutely incandescent there with that last piece of action. It was Deporter who was trying to get through onto that attempted offload by his scrum half. He looked like he got a little bit of an obstruction. Lamont back in again, but Briat steals it. Stade Francais are beginning to work out the UBB line-out. The best that UBB can do now is push back the Stade Francais maul. It's not going anywhere, so Cocot's going to have to break away and decides he can see a lot of space. He's going to have to hit that hard, though, to get a 50-22. And, well, it's a safe mark by Louis Bielbieri.
Well, that's quite smart play for a 9 to get that wipers kick going, but gee, Bielbieri put his head down immediately. He covered that 40-odd metres rapidly to get back and catch that on the full and take the mark.
He was on the bench last week with Mados Tambwe given the start. Back in the side today, though. What a treasure trove of riches they have in terms of backs.
Bordeaux looking a lot more dangerous in this half. As they get quicker ball, they're getting better placement so that Luku can clear quickly, and they're starting to find half gaps.
So then, first line out for the new man on, Moses Allo Burros. Kabul Kufner brought him down, and Stade Francais get the decision.
Delicate little kicking game from Stade Francais. More changes for Bordeaux as Guido Petit comes on. And also Stade Francais is starting to bring a couple more on as well.
Adam Coleman looks like he's coming off.
That was unlucky for Burros. Second time tonight he's been really unlucky. Damien Penaud thought he was going to get the bounce of the ball, so he ran across in front of Burros. The ball bounced forward low, and Burros couldn't control it. Really unlucky.
Scrum. In a good position this for Stade Francais.
Well, I've stacked this close side here, Angus. There are 4 backs on 2. Luku will come out and defend and make it 4 versus 3, but if they can get this efficiently through the hands, you've got to think there's a gap somewhere. Now, it depends on Moefana and Damien Penaud defending together, how much they can force Stade Francais to move the ball without committing themselves to the tackle. And then they can just slide across and cover all the options.
So then we're going to reset. Everybody in the stadium, Stade Francais and UBB fans waving their flags, cheering their sides on. It's gone down again, but the ball is out the back. Leo Barre feeds it out to Lester Etienne. Bershheim, he's really had a chance to really run at his opposite number. It's been dropped backwards, says the referee, so no knock on. Back inside by Joe Marchant. Yet to score a try for Stade Francais, the English international. Good defence. Stade Francais going nowhere at the moment. Segons, though, they feed it back out wide once more. Again, the line held strong there, and they wound up not knowing what to do, Stade Francais, so they kept it tight rather than throwing it out wide. Cocot sees it, realises that Segons has gone off the blind side, and a knock-on. Advantage over. It's a great kick. Segons, you saw there, knew what he'd done immediately. It was off back to cover, but another wasted opportunity.
Well, almost a half gap there for Stade Francais, but check out this kick here from Garcia. He's got no angle there, and he's put that just inside the Stade Francais half. Excellent clearing kick. Jeff Dubois sitting there in the middle of your picture, former player and coach. He's lucky enough to play alongside him at Racing with an educated left boot that he had. Managed to get the ball too often with pressure on him. I just shoveled it onto him. But well, good to see a lot of French players coming through and into the coaching ranks as well. So many professional teams that you get the opportunity. 30 professional teams in their top 2 divisions.
It's an educated left foot that sent that ball forward as well from Mateo Garcia. Stade Francais, though, have it back inside their own half at the moment. Rory Cocot decides to kick again. There's been an awful lot of kicking. It's been hardly any real back play so far from either of these two sides. Segons, he kicks in. It's a real kicking battle in this second half, even more so than in the first. That's gone out. And we're pretty much back where we were a moment ago.
Does it look reasonably innocuous, that last kick from... Is it Garcia hit that last one? Yeah, he's managed to get good distance. I mean, the difference between having a line out on the half lane, a line out on the 10-metre line is actually significant there. So just those extra few metres just changes what Stade Francais can do here.
You saw Sekou Makalu not on the pitch anymore, so they'll need a new target man. Stade Francais. They've done well. It's into the hands of the captain, Paul Gabrielague. Maul set up. Not going anywhere, though. Good play from Bordeaux Begles, so they decide to break off, and the kick forward once more. Bielbieri. Seconds catches it, and he spreads it in to Leo Barre, and he'll inevitably kick it, looking for the 50-22. Won't find it, though. Burros has it. Oh, but, well, yeah, off the outside of the boot, trying to catch the bounce, but it went out on the full, and they'll come all the way back.
Well, they did well initially there, Burros, but then he got in two minds, I think. He thought he might carry it back up, he thought he might look for his support, actually three minds. And finally he's gone for a little banana kick, which hasn't quite gone right, but he did have to cover a lot of ground to avoid that 50-22.
We saw him do something like that a few weeks ago as he ran onto a try to score afterwards, but that wasn't quite the same thing. In it comes from Perez Blanc, bit messy. Oh, and Luku has to turn away because all of a sudden Hugo Boniface was in the way. Cocotte runs back in and loses the ball, knocked on as well. Ubebe now with a chance to run it. Yoram Mafana. Better, lovely play. Bielbieri, look at him turn the burners on. Runs into a brick wall though. Rory Cocotte has only just got up as Luku, his opposite number, kicks it forward. Great pick up though by Seconds. He locks it down though. It's all over the place inside the 22. The crowd are going crazy. Ubebe are going forward, almost up to the 5-metre line. The first really big moment of the second half, unleashing itself here at the Mamad Atlantique. Out wide it comes, Mafana, out to Penaud. Penaud comes back inside, surely! Well, if that's not a forward pass, that is a superb try. And finally, the Union Bordeaux Begles that we know so well appears on the pitch tonight.
Well, that is exhilarating rugby from the home team as they surged 70, 80 metres after an enormous hit on Rory Cocotte. They won the line out first, and then they got themselves into all sorts of trouble there. Luku was blocked trying to clear it. Here comes Cocotte, and he does get buckled. Finally, it gets turned over, and Moefana was instrumental in creating the space here. The support play, Bielbieri really pins his ears back. And when they finally came across, I'm not sure if they knew that Cocotte was in trouble, but finally Penaud, one of the best attackers, here he goes, off the right foot, keeps his balance somehow, and shovels that ball out to Boschtung. They will be having a look at that pass for sure. There was just a hint. Looks like they're comfortable with it, the refereeing team. And it's Luku for the extra two as the Bordelais find their voice here at the stadium.
So then the first points go to Bordeaux Begles after a chance at the end of the first half and another at the beginning of the second for Stade Francais, neither of which they were able to take advantage of. Luku hits it. Beautiful camera shot of it going over, but unfortunately it's gone round rather than through. However, Pierre Bocheton scored his first ever try as a pro in the win over Toulouse back in March. He's now scored his second, and what a time to do it.
Well, he's done well to control that ball as well with the one hand. It was great skill from Penaud. Still, it's a lot to ask of a big forward who's been putting so much effort in the scrums. And he then gets down the far end. He's had to gallop a long way, and eventually a pass goes out in front. Cocotte was really hurt in that tackle, which was part made by Luku, but with the Bordeaux forwards alongside.
Segonds gets us back underway again then, and all of a sudden it's a 12-point lead. 10-22. Bordeaux Begles lead by. Barre infield. Segonds looks for the corner again, but all he's found is Burros, and that was a real waste. Well, Stade Francais again playing into Bordeaux Begles' hands, which is something they were doing for a large part of the first half. Big kick. Segonds takes it quickly though. Barre will send it back where it came from, so all of that advantage disappears. Burros decides not to call the mark this time. They'll run it again. Garcia. Change of tack. Flat kick as far as Segonds. Segonds runs it out of the 22 and sends it back where Burros is waiting. Sensible perhaps, use their legs first. Inside the 22, can look for touch this time, but doesn't find it. Beautifully judged by Segonds. And you can hear for the first time tonight the crowd getting a bit impatient with this kicking game, and Segonds has overhit it. Not quite totally overhit though, otherwise they'd be doing a scrum back in their own half. But he's still not happy, as you can imagine.
The Bordeaux at the moment don't have to chase the game, so they're happy for every little break. That's why they're taking marks in the 22. The clock has been stopped now while they make some changes, and Brad Webber's coming on for Rory Cocotte.
Yeah, Brad Webber, two-time rugby championship winner from New Zealand, a couple of weeks before England start a tour in New Zealand for the first time in a long time. So then the goal line dropout, sent out by Matteo Garcia. Giovanni Habel-Kufner trying to ram his way through. However, managed to get a penalty, which will do.
I think 3 points, though. They look like they're pointing to the line. Certainly the line-out forwards are pointing towards the line. Would be really tempted to take 3 here, just to settle things down for Stade Francais.
I don't think they're going to, though.
No, there's no rush.
And Segonds is going to go for the line, or for the corner, which he does. And it sets up another opportunity. They've had a few opportunities in this position, but they have not taken advantage of them. And therein lies their problem. Indeed, for most of the season, their attack has just not really been up to the defence.
Yeah, they're real chances tonight, as we see Maxime Lamotte coming off as well, so that's been a full front row change for Bordeaux. Also Stade Francais in the front row. Malakidze is coming on.
Yeah, there's Romain Laterade, the loose-head prop. Man who scored some tries and scored in both games in the regular season against Stade Francais. Burros has gone off and is replaced by Huberti. And Stade Francais trying to launch a big push towards the UBB line. There's a lot of bodies involved in this maul from the men from the capital. Still going, nicely done here, big push, the forwards have been on top in both sides, but here comes the counter push from Bordeaux Begles. Stade Francais though only a metre away. Are they there? Over the line, Pierre Brousset looking along that line to see whether they've got it. There's a penalty advantage here to Stade Francais. So they have a couple of goes at this. Oh, it's so close. And the referee, in the end, he loses patience.
No advantage to Stade Francais, who are about to be penalised for diving in and protecting the ball off that next phase. So it's gone back to the original infringement, and they've gone for the line again. Gee, I think still 20 minutes to go. 3 points here would be pretty valuable for Stade Francais, and then just work hard on getting back down the end. The longer Bordeaux hold out here, the more encouragement they'll take. That ball got agonisingly close.
Like they did at the end of the first half, the encouragement they took from withstanding the siege. Lucas Perez-Blanc, good throw. Romain Briat takes it, and again the maul is set up and they get some momentum. Traction from Stade Francais, up to the line, and this time They burst through. At last. It's taken them a while, but they have finally got across the line.
Yes, emphatically telling the old goal kicker sitting up in commentary to be quiet and leave it with the big boys. I wanted 3 points for Stade Francais. They took 5. They did it well. I was worried after that last line-out maul that perhaps they would lose control when the maul broke up, but they kept the control this time. Delight for Stade Francais.
Lucas Perez-Blanc with the touchdown, his 6th try of the season. And the first he scored since the middle of May when he scored against Toulouse in what was ultimately a losing game. Well, they refused to go away, Stade Francais. And this is a really important kick now for Joris Segons. The gap is 7 points. If he can hit this, then a converted try will be enough to bring them back. Oh, he's hit the post again. Oh, all on the margins. Well, sparks have been flying on both sides, but Joris Segons, who you would think would be absolutely nailed on in positions like this, has hit the post, and it remains a 7-point game. It could have been a 5-point game. Abel Kufner, safe hands, sets up the exit. Well, both coaches know what's at stake here. Both in their first seasons with their respective clubs. Both getting to the playoffs at the first attempt. But only one side can go on to the final. At the moment, that ticket is about to be punched for Union Bordeaux Begles, but Stade Francais trying to rip it away from them. Overthrown, picked up by Stade Francais. Chance for them to come forward once more. Weber, told to play it. Tanganoa Tafavanua has come on, and a really strong piece of defence there by Union Bordeaux Begles, but just about enough control on the Stade Francais side to keep possession. Weber again, raking that ball backwards. 9 tries for him in his first season in France. Brilliant catch by Damien Penaud. Then let it go. Have they still got it? Luke has lost it, and Stade Francais have it again. That wonderful ability to be able to win possession back on the ground from Stade Francais, and now the ball is up in the air, and it's a mark that's called.
I'm not sure Stade Francais won that ball back by legal means, as they've taken a quick tap, Bordeaux, and on the charge.
Segons, and again we go up in the air. That's going to come down just outside, is it? No, it goes just inside, and of course the mark is called. And again, that kicking has been a little bit imprecise.
Well, they don't need to rush it now, Bordeaux. I don't know why they took a quick one just before. Like I say, Stade Francais came through. Penaud took a great take in the air, tried to play the ball. The ruck formed over him, and Stade Francais hands all over that to rip it back. But anyway, you ride your luck, and they couldn't quite make the most of it. Some good scrambling defence to get back and take those kicks from Bordeaux.
Another substitution. On comes Jan Lescourg, the experienced scrum half. But he's not coming on for Maxime Lucu. He's coming on for the fly half, Mathieu Garcia.
Yes, Lucu's moved out to fly half, and they've also got Uberti, who's normally a centre. He's over on that left wing, so Biel Beret has moved off the wing and into fullback. So shuffling around a little bit in the back line from Bordeaux.
One by Bordeaux. Being dropped though forward. It's actually gone backwards, excuse me. There was an Ubebe hand that pushed it.
Jouez le 9.
Luku then, still on as scrum half. Kicks long, kicks very long. He's got it, the 50-22. What a wonderful piece of play, and even Mathieu Jalibert is on his feet for that.
Absolutely extraordinary kick. For a halfback to kick from the base of a ruck and get a 50-22 is just amazing. So he's already outside there. So that's why the 50-22 was given. Etienne having stepped already into touch.
Laterad, ball in hand, line out comes. Won by Union Bordeaux Begles. They set up the maul. Resistance initially here from Stade Francais. Referee gives a warning. Told to play it. No movement at all there given by Stade Francais' defence. Mafana tries to break through the paper bag, but the paper bag holds. Lescaut, first touch, he feeds it out. Not much movement at the moment. No give here in the defence being offered up. Back by Hugo Boniface, the replacement loosehead prop. Ubebe building up the pressure. Lescaut, well taken by Luku and by, oh brilliant, here comes Uberti. Flashing hands there from Louis Bielbieri and Damien Penaud, but unfortunately not from Cyril Cazot.
Looking very dangerous, Bordeaux. The first time I think we've seen Deportier with the ball. It was a lovely touch. He certainly hasn't had much opportunity in space. Beautiful hands. There it was there. He just flicked it onto Bielbieri. Uberti was on the inside and going oh so close. The desperation. Fantastic tackle from Abel Kufner. And just a low pass going on out. Absolutely nothing the big boys can do about that. That's not their fault.
On comes Julien Delbouy, who was the only man who came into the side who wasn't involved on the last day of the regular season. Lexo Kaulashvili has also come on the tight head side for Union Bordeaux Begles, a man who is off to Pau for next season.
Did wonder if the option of a drop goal was going through Maxime Luku's head. 22-10, that's 12 points. A three-pointer makes 15, of course. There we go, it's not tough maths.
That would be very greedy, wouldn't it? A scrum half moves to fly half and starts taking on a drop goal.
Well, he's just hit one of the best 50-22s we'll ever see. Who would put it past him? And it would take them to that, well, he's got past that 2 converted try margin.
He's got a lot to live up to with Antoine Dupont doing just as good a job at fly half this season. The man who seems to be able to just about turn his hand to anything. That ball, that scrum has collapsed. I think the referees decided that both sides were at fault, so they will reset. 11 minutes to go in the second semi-final here at the Stadium Mahmoud. More substitutions coming up for Stade Francais in a moment.
Well, where do you put this now if you Stade Francais? Jougon has got a huge boot. He's got all his backs lined across, spread out across the width of the field, as if they're going to attack. I don't think they will from this deep. It may be an option. They may try one phase to see how well they go, but more likely they're just going to try and find grass with the kick.
Big hit by Stade Francais, and that works. Wow, you saw the aggression there come from the defensive team, and it's won them the penalty.
And exactly what the forward pack would have been doing. Forget what the backs are doing. They just want to get in and milk that penalty and get an easy exit, which is what they've done. Well applied.
Well, Union Bordeaux Begles have been leading for most of this game, but it is not in the bag yet. We are going all the way to the end here in Bordeaux. There's a nervous, I keep calling them a home crowd. I mean, it's technically neutral territory, but this is a ground that they have used plenty of times as their home. Barret Marchant trying to go round the edge. Doesn't quite find it. Weber, the former chief. And of course, the Chiefs lost the Super Rugby Pacific final earlier today against the Blues. Now his side are trying to stay in, top 14. Big, high kick, not a bad one. Lester Etienne, did he play the man without the ball there first? Stade Francais have it, referee happy. Seconds, long, Barre. Now it's Stade Francais' time to play it on the backs. Marchant does well to stay infield. Great awareness of where the line is. They've lost the ball though, and Penaud kicks. Penaud goes again. It's a slippery bar of slope in the shower at the moment. They can't pick it up. Stade Francais finally get it. Weber looks around. And kicks high. It's a decent one. Luku is underneath it and takes it safely. He's on the ground, so it needs Jan Lescourt, the other scrum half on the field, to pick it up. Luku back on his feet, and the caterpillar building out the back of the ruck. Lescourt's going to kick too. Bit flat, not long. This brings offside into play, but it's been picked up by Martin again. Good strength to get away from the tackle attempted by Nicolas Depoter. Weber out to Seconds. Barre again, he kicks, trying to get over the top of Bielbieri, but he's too quick, and he calls the mark again.
Well, that whole passage of play sums up Stade Francais' attack. When they're trying to move the ball and manipulate space, they muddle around and don't get any ground. The only time they've got ground tonight is through kicking or through punching it straight, mostly with the forwards. And it's just chewing up the time. They are inefficient. They need to throw this quickly, and they do.
Again, they didn't get it far enough away. Need to get it over that fence to stop that quick run happening. Makalou's back on the field. Runs into contact, doesn't get any change though, and all he can do is send the ball backwards again. Weber. Up for Fanua. Slow yards at the moment. Seconds decides to pace it up again, but it's too long once more. Bielbieri sends it back where it came from. Lester Etienne. Well, he was twisting there. He was always going to be in trouble. Didn't really know where the ball is. They've taken it quickly, but unfortunately they've knocked the ball on Bordeaux Begles. It's all a bit frantic, and Bordeaux Begles don't really need it to be this frantic.
No, well, poor old Lester Etienne there. I think he lost track of where the line is. Yeah, he feels like he's got to keep it just in. He had a lot of space. Slippery ball, just got to touch on it. The early, the quick throw taken by Bordeaux, and I think Brad Weber's probably lucky that that wasn't a play on, because I think he would have got done for an early tackle there.
Little talk between Romain Latorade and Hugo Boniface as to what tactic they're going to employ. Off comes Pierre Bochatot.
Pete Samu's also on for Bordeaux, and he's the perfect player in this situation in a playoff match too.
Latorade delivers safely. Bordeaux Begles take it. The crowd start to get interested once more, but they're still outside the 22 at the moment, and Stade Francais are holding firm. And trying to get the ball as well. Lescourt. Big tackle in the middle there, coming from Mathieu Regoyen, the back row forward who has come on. Ex-France under-20 and Barbar, but never a full international. Kaulishvili, again, nowhere to go at the moment.
There's Samu.
Lescourt. Again, they're not really going anywhere at the moment. Good defence this from Stade Francais, and again they try to rip that ball away, get their bodies over it. Luku, oh yes, massive hit. Huge hit there from Jeremy Ward. Absolutely perfect technique. Whole stadium went quiet there for a second. Luku though has it, trying to liven them up again. He's locked it forward. Marchand has it. Etienne. They're playing the knock-on advantage at the moment. Out by Weber. If they kick it, it'll be over. The pass is good, says the referee. It looked a little bit forward, but the referee's word is law, so it doesn't really matter. Moses Alo-Emile. Pavel Kufner. Again, he's also good at beating the first man. Powerful and athletic, and now they're over halfway. Segons. Oh, Makalu drops it. And all of the Stade Francais players look up at the sky. And Laurent Lebitte does pretty much the same thing.
Well, it's such a shame. So much work, so much effort, so much courage on defence they show. They finally got the turnover when Luku spilled it. They worked their way upfield. Pavel Kufner, who has been fantastic tonight. Here's this tackle from Jeremy Ward. Absolutely immaculate. And they got their way out of their own territory, but then they let themselves down, Stade Francais, with just an insipid movement. They're just better not to try any subtlety at all and just hammer the ball straight. As soon as they try and do something a little bit cute or a little bit skillful, they find themselves in trouble.
This is an attacking platform now, though. 3.5 minutes to go. Stade Francais are running out of time, and they're at the wrong end of the pitch. Oof. Magnificent take by Pete Samu at the back of the line out. Superb play from the Australian back row forward. First season with Bordeaux Begles. However, Stade Francais have won it, and it's kicked forward by Delbouy, and he finds touch and relieves the pressure, but really it's not really the pressure they need to relieve. They need to put some on themselves. Romain Briat is doing his best here to run over for that line out, but he's limping.
Well, I can't see why Bordeaux, they were looking to switch it back down the short side. I can't see why when they're on the 22, they might not have the 3 points, the drop goal in their head. A couple more phases towards the post. They would have been right under the post, 15, 20 metres out, and at least just having a shot at the 3. The best result is you're out past the 2-try margin. The worst result is you get a drop goal, drop-out kick back to you.
Well, Romain Briat is not going to be able to get over that limp, so he's going to have to come on, which brings Paul Gabrielard back on again. And it's overthrown again, and Bordeaux Begles have it. However, Segons chased after by Yoram Mofana. He's managed to secure it. Brad Weber will leave it to the men in front at the moment. Forward comes Tanganoa Halafafanua. Tongan International sets up the next phase of play. Brad Weber looks for the next recipient and decides he's going to kick it instead. Luku. Oh, Luku's hit but gets the kick away. Oh, it was so close to another 50-22. Just overcooked it that time.
Really close, and yeah, obviously my maths was a little bit off before. I'd forgotten about that Stade Francais try, but it's 7 points. The principle's the same. Get the drop goal, the 3 points, and then you're out to 10. A converted try here, of course, takes us 2 extra time. So I just can't understand why it didn't come into Bordeaux's thinking. Stade Francais potentially in the position of salvaging what was looking very, very unlikely just 2 minutes ago.
The Union Bordeaux Begles crowd getting right behind their team as we enter the last 2 minutes of normal time.
And there's that fairly smallish pocket of pink supporters over there, Angus, directly behind the goalpost that Stade Francais are attacking, and their flags are waving as fiercely as they can, but they're absolutely outnumbered in this stadium.
What a game. Tension palpable. The enjeu, as the French would say, right up there. Everything on the line. This second half has given us all that was really missing from last night's game, when La Rochelle rather imploded. Oh! Out the back! Stade Francais, little ambush into enemy territory. Bordeaux Begles just about woke up in time. Weber feeds it out. McAloo just dropped it. He's dropped it. However, they've managed to get it back again, Stade Francais, just when it looked like turnover ball had happened. Plotting again. Stade Francais, their season on the line. A third final on the line. But for Union Bordeaux Begles, you would say the stakes perhaps even greater. 3 semi-finals in a row, and they've lost them all. In the fourth, they're ahead with 1 minute and 20 seconds to go. And it's a penalty, is it, to...
It's a scrum to Stade Francais. They've gone back to the advantage, Angus, just when we thought it was all over. They still have the advantage. This is the sneak attack, and what a tackle from Luku.
Against the front row forward as well, at full pelt.
He absolutely flew across there. There's the first loss where Boniface dived on the ball, and then Bordeaux somehow inexplicably coughed it up again. The hooter is gone.
And we're back where we were at the end of the first half. 7 points in it, and Stade Francais pounding the UBB scrum line, or at least at the moment, the 5-metre line.
Well, the drama is absolutely gripping, and Stade Francais have not looked threatening very often in this match at all, but who would put it past them to suddenly turn it on with a big scrum and maybe send McAloo catapulting off to that right-hand side. He's got Luku in front of him as the first defender. If Stade Francais, not that he's a bad defender or anything, but McAloo's plenty athletic. If Stade Francais can get that right side of the scrum up, they are a good chance here.
Big push. Referee's blown, though. They've turned the scrum more than 90 degrees.
Yeah, Bordeaux knows the danger. They know they need to get that left side up a little. They don't want to give too much on either side, to be honest, but that left side for them is more dangerous.
The tension written on the faces of the two sides. Yannick Brou there, who didn't really know what to do with himself, and then got on the walkie-talkie, and Sergio Abrabashvili, the Stade Francais loose head prop, trying to exhort his team to one last attempt. And of course, if they succeed, there'll be a few more attempts coming in extra time.
Yeah, Bordeaux so close to getting this semi-final monkey off their back, Angus. It's there within reach.
But they need to find a good scrum. And it's a penalty advantage, is it too? Oh, it's knocked on. And again, referee's on the deck. He has seen what's happened, though. It's not over yet. They almost celebrated.
Well, they've got a scrum again, Stade Francais. Boniface penalised there. And they've got to put more heat on. This is their only chance, really.
Joe Marchand on this near side has got his head on his hands.
Well, they're going to line out. They've made a mockery of me tonight. I'm clearly not the tactician for Stade Francais, am I? It worked well the first time. I called for 3, they got 5. Here I called for a scrum, they've gone for line-out.
Well, these are the decisions that define a season, an era. Stade Francais have been to the final before, but not with these players. Back on comes Kalou Sadi, the South African tight head prop. Can he hold out his former side? Lexo Kaulashvili heads for a shake of the hands with Yannick Brou as it comes in and is taken by the Stade Francais captain, Paul Gabrilag. They try to build again. The driving maul. The irresistible force against the immovable object at the moment, but the irresistible force is beginning to edge forward. Inch by inch, down it goes. That's a penalty. Advantage being played for Stade Francais, up to 1 metre to go. All the cards, it seems now, for the men in pink on the line. Penalty advantage. And the referee sees no advantage and will come back for the penalty once more. And on we go. 3.5 minutes into time added on.
And a yellow card, Angus. Too many penalties conceded by Bordeaux near their own line. Stade Francais used up their advantage by infringing at the next ruck, diving in again. So they went back, and Cyril Cazo, the big lock, judged to be at fault there. And it looks like Segon was pretty keen for that scrum. I think he was just getting confirmation from the sideline, knowing that Bordeaux are at least one player down, or not at least one player, possibly only a half if the back gets put into the scrum for Bordeaux. And this is their opportunity. Scrum rather than a line out called by Stade Francais. A slightly depowered Bordeaux scrum, although they do have Sadi back on with hopefully fresher legs than he went off with.
Well, it's nip one, pearl one at the moment, isn't it? They're going from scrum to line out, back to scrum, trying to find a way to just eat that little bit of space out they need.
Oh, they've changed their call. Well, that's interesting. They had definitely called for the scrum, Stade Francais. They've now changed their mind. And
so, back on comes the number 5, Adam Coleman.
He's replacing a back. He's replacing Deporter, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Just to get an 8-man complement up front and leave 6 in the backs rather than 7-7.
Well, you have a 6-2 on the subs, and now you can have something even more than that on the pitch itself. Here we go. Here we go. Straight throw needed. Part 1 done. Safely in the hands of Paul Gabrilag, and they charge forward. Stade Francais up to the line, they're over. Try given! Try given! Stade Francais do at the end of the second half what they failed to do at the end of the first, and Lucas Perez-Blanc scores again. But this is not the end of it. They have to convert, and it is not the easiest kick. But they've given themselves the chance. Wonderful play.
Without an absolute boil over here. I thought it was a little bit messy, but Stade Francais managed to keep enough control and charge over the line. I thought Bordeaux might have at least forced them a little bit wider. Thankfully for Bordeaux, they haven't come too far in, and who would want to be Joris Segon now? Well, any kid who's ever dreamed of a fairy tale finish, kicking a goal to win the match, that's who wants to be there. He has struck the ball well tonight, and saying that, down this end he has hit the upright twice. Once with a drop goal and once with a place kick. And even more pressure on this kick for a kicker when you've got all your teammates standing within your field of vision just over here on his left.
Joris Segon has hit the post twice. But this to keep Stade Francais' season alive. It's all on this. Will it go through? It doesn't! And Bordeaux Begles qualify for the Top 14 final for the first time in their history. After 3 semi-final defeats in Top 14 in the last 3 years, plus disappointment in the last 4 in the Champions Cup, they have finally knocked the semi-final wall over. History made. It was the toughest of kicks. It was so close. but Joris Segons hits the post again. He's distraught, crestfallen. What a finish to the second semi-final, as it ends Stade Francais 20, Union Bordeaux Begles 22, and it's Bordeaux against Toulouse in the top 14 final next week in Marseille. Wow, what a finish!
I've never heard a crowd cheer so loudly for a missed kick. You get plenty of that around the world. Home crowds cheering against opposition goal kickers, but never this kind of a moment to see their team get through that semi-final.